Hello there everyone, it's Nat here and you're officially tapped into another episode of Kingful Finance. Today I'm going to be discussing why I've been refraining from investing in real estate throughout 2022. Now, it's not that I'm absolutely leaving real estate alone. It's just that the perfect opportunity just hasn't come along yet. My goal when we first entered this year was to get to at least 10 rental units. And I started off pretty strong because as of January, I was already at 6 rental units. So all I needed was 4 more to hit my end year goal. I don't know if you guys necessarily remember how the year started, but I do specifically because the stock market started to shit the bed and I lost about 15 to 20K. Now, before I could lose any more money, I found a perfect opportunity, which was a beautiful duplex located in Watertown. I pulled out the rest of the money in my brokerage account and used it as a down payment to help fund my purchase. However, the real estate market in this area seemed to take a shift towards the worst. I mean, it seemed like all throughout the United States, the real estate market started to change very rapidly. And first, we still had very low interest rates, but yet people were overvaluing the cost or value of their homes. So I would look at a house, and being that I've been in the area for a little bit, I could kind of give a good guesstimate of what I thought the house was worth. And the home would be 30, 50, sometimes even $100,000 more than what I valued it at. And then to make matters worse, interest rates started increasing. So at a point where I could get an interest rate on a primary residence from anywhere between 2.5 to 3%. Now we're looking at a 5% interest rate. And at the point where I would get a rental property or a conventional loan at a 4% interest rate, now we're looking at 7-8%. Now the increase in the interest rate or the increase in price of homes wasn't really what deterred me away, because at the end of the day, like I like to say, a good deal is still a good deal. The numbers just had to make sense. But in this certain situation, the numbers were just not making sense. For me, in this area, being that it is a military area, the basic housing allowance for a single individual is around $1,300 every month. So when I'm doing a simple analysis, I kind of want all my expenses to be at least under $1,000 each month. And with the increase in home prices and the increase in interest rates, I was seeing it get too close to where the profit margin wouldn't be beneficial for me. However, I saw a great opportunity arriving and presenting itself within the stock market. So I started to shift gears and started paying attention to that. When the economy gets to a point like this, a lot of people start to become scared, which was kind of like what I did earlier in the year when I decided to pull my money out my brokerage account. But instead of just pulling out and not doing anything with that money, I decided to use it to help fund my next real estate purchase. But now that the real estate market isn't really helping me out, I'm using that money that I would have otherwise been using to fund the purchase of another property, and instead I'm investing back in the stock market. So what's happening now in the stock market is that a lot of these stocks are being undervalued. What a lot of people started to see in the beginning of this year was that they were losing a lot of money in their stocks. So they got scared and pulled their money out and just kept it in savings accounts, which was the wrong answer. But when people do this, it gives an advantage to everyone else, because now that there are less people invested in this specific stock, it's valued less. That means that for the witty or the smart investor, you can go and purchase this stock and get it at a discount. So one recent example of this happening is through Alphabet or the stock Google, where they did a 20-to-1 margin on their stocks. And what this did was it reduced the share of one Google stock, which was valued at $2,200, and now you can purchase it for $110. So I went ahead and bought a whole bunch of them. Now, the reason why they do this is because, number one, it makes it more enticing for investors to put their money back into the company. Number two, it will increase the chances of Google getting on the Dow Jones list. And that's because unlike the S&P 500, the Dow Jones list is weighed by price and not the market average. So let's say the Dow was to add a stock that was greatly priced, it would skew their actual market average. And that's why certain stocks such as Google or Amazon are typically not found on the Dow Jones. So if you haven't been paying attention to the stock, This is time for us little people to finally shine and get our foot in the door on some of these stocks that we couldn't otherwise afford. However, this doesn't mean I'm leaving real estate for good. It just means that I'm taking a tactical pause. I'm still observing and analyzing information as I get it. And if I find a deal that actually makes sense, I'm going to make an offer on it and try to purchase it. However, the deal has to make sense, and that's all that really matters. But in the meantime, I'm going to be focusing more on my stock investments and trying to build up my net worth any way possible. What I have noticed though is that right now market prices are starting to go back to normal. Houses that were first listed way overpriced are now dropping by like 20, 30K. What I'm expecting is that these homeowners are finally going to come to grips with reality and realize that the price they're asking for their home, no one is at this current point in time going to pay for it. As a matter of fact, mortgage applications have dropped about 20%. So that means a lot of these homes on the market aren't getting any offers. And if sellers are really trying to get rid of these homes, they're going to end up having to lower their price, or they're going to have to hold on to the property and continue to lose money on it. Once these sellers finally decide to give up, the prices will be a lot more reasonable. And maybe at that time, interest rates might lower, interest rates might increase. There's no way to know for sure. But from what I can see right now, it appears that prices of homes are going lower, and it appears that the feds are trying to work on any way possible to decrease or lower interest rates. So my game plan is to keep money on the reserve, continue to invest in the stock market so that when the housing market crashes or when sellers actually come to grips with reality, I can make an attack and then purchase as much as possible because I'll have a lot of buying power when that time comes. So no, I haven't given up on real estate. My goal is still to get to 10 rental units by the end of this year. But then again, I got military training going on. I'm about to move soon. So there's a lot of other things to consider besides just the state of the market. And at the end of the day, if a good deal doesn't come around, I'm not going to buy. There's no reason to rush to failure. So that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're still trying to grow the page. So help me out. Share this video with a friend. And let's get to the next goal. See you all next week. Peace.